Hey guys, I'm going to show you how I create a build out of an idea and a lot of growing pains. So take the probe brush, seems simple, you send probes over to your opponent, try to kill him. So I'm going to show you different ways that I've learned how to do it and where I'm at now with the Probious rush. Hope you like this video.
When doing the Probious rush, keep in mind that the new probe skin actually has a big glow to it. So you want to actually change it to the original skin if you do have that set up. You also want to make sure that there's no minerals in the Probus mouth, because that also does the same thing. It actually creates a blue haze. So if you don't want your opponents to be detecting you a little bit early, that's something that you could change if you do have those settings.
Okay, so here's the first phase, which is pretty simple. It's just send your probes over to your opponent and hopefully you kill him, right? I see this in ladder. I still see this in team games a lot. A lot of players just get their probes and they just attack. And one of the problems with this is that your opponents can spot you when they're scouting. They just see a big flock of workers. And at this point, they have a little bit of time to defend. And one of the best things to do is to wall you out. If not that, to make sure you're making more workers. Sometimes you can get the zealot out. Where in this case the only thing I rely on is potentially my probe micro, using the mineral tricks and hoping that my opponent doesn't react properly, because they normally will have more probes behind this and I don't have any economy. It's more of an all-in, which is not why I'm not really liking the all-in, because there's no fallback plan. But it was really fun, and I thought, it was interesting to do a probe brush. So now we're going to go into the second phase. Okay, phase 2 is a little different. I'm sending the probes out, but I'm sending them through mineral patches throughout the map. As you can see, I'm actually sending them in a different path. Clicking on mineral locations, I'm able to actually combine them. And what this does is it allows your probes to eventually look like one, so that if he does scout you, he doesn't see it and he doesn't wall you out. Because one of the biggest ways you lose is he spots that you're coming at him with a lot of probes and he's gonna wall you out, or he's gonna make a lot of probes and outnumber you, since this is an all-in, and at the same time you might face a zealot that might be coming out, because at this point the gateway is halfway done. You do have a little element of surprise now that it came into looking like one. The opponent does not realize it for a little while. Now we're using the mineral trick to micro, and in this case we actually did a really good job, but in other cases our opponent's able to react a little bit better, and at times he's going to be able to get that zealot that's coming out of that gateway. So the gateway at times is the one thing that's a predicament. Since this is an all-in, you might have less probes. He might be sending his workers around waiting for his zealot to come out, and that's actually going to hurt you. But in this case, since I do have more numbers, I'm able to micro my probes over and counter the zealot, just in case I need to take it to a further game. So what I could be doing is killing this pylon right after I kill all the probes. That way the zealot doesn't come out. which is what I'm doing right now. But I could have done that a little quicker. These are things that you start taking in and going, okay, next time I gotta do that. Next time I gotta kill the pylon. That way the zealot's not a threat right after I do my probe rush. So little by little you start figuring out as you're doing these builds that there's more thought process to it to try to get an advantage or just to survive. So in this case, killing the pylon is very important. I gotta now do that to all my games when I'm doing a Probious rush. Gotta kill that pylon so more zealots don't come out. Okay guys, here's phase 3. Now this one, it's actually a little bit more of a macro follow-up. It's not an all-in like the other two methods, and it has a little bit of element of surprise in it too regarding the Probious. Some people are starting to recognize the Probious rush a little bit, and so what I do is I make a pylon and I send the probe out, and when the pylon is almost up, I start making a gas and getting my probes into the gas as one probe. I make sure that there's no minerals that they're gathering, and I send them by right clicking on the opponent's mineral and then cancel the gas. That 57 resources is going to go back to the nexus, and then you're making additional probes with the 2 chrono boosts that you saved from the start. This first probe that's scouting here is getting to your opponent. He's just showing your opponent that it's just one probe. It's just one probe. Don't worry about it. Don't mind me. Well, this time you're macroing behind this in the background. You're still bugging him with that first probe, and once your other probe is getting close, you switch roles, and now you get this one to go in. Make it look like he's the one that's been harassing. So nothing to worry about, just one probe. All of a sudden, you come in and you do a full surround. You utilize your mineral micro and element surprise. And this is a good way to get in. As well, if you have any units left, recall and go back home with the following numbers. Okay, this new style of Probious actually comes with a cannon rush. So in this build, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a regular pylon timing, but it's going to be at the corner base. We're going to try to cannon the opponent, but distract them with Probious rush. Now the way I do it is I'm going to make the forge in a hidden location, that way the opponent doesn't scout what I'm doing. I send 8 workers out, and once I cancel the gas, I quickly make a forge and start mining some more workers. During this time I'm actually going to send them out to the opponent while the forge is being constructed. So most of the time Protoss will come in with the pylon scout just to see if you're getting a forge. They'll scout around, seeing that there's no forge, just a pylon if they get too close, but not that far. So this is going to give you a little bit of extra surprise for you to get this in. Now in this case he's feeling like there's something up. So you come in, you find some probes, you distract them. As you're distracting them, you send a probe out, distractions over here, and you quickly make a pylon wall in the back. You keep distracting your opponent. He's no longer gonna have enough time to actually stop this, and so this is allowing you to actually get the cannon rush in, utilizing Probious, and still able to have a good amount of probes in the background for the following cannons. So as he's over here trying to defend, he's trying to get in, the cannons are already coming up, and it's gonna be already too late. Now these probes that are right here, they're able to make more cannons on the outsides of the pylons, which is gonna be good for a follow-up, or you can start cannon rushing in other areas as well. So this Protoss is very frustrated. In the meantime, you're making workers, and you can start taking up, getting your gas, getting your gateways, or you can get a gateway here. You know, it's really up to you how chaotic you want the game to be. Now you can get the gateway right here and start getting a zealot to harass, further harass, maybe take the pylon out. Or you can make a gateway right here. Now I'm not risking anything right here. I'm making 3 walls, 3 pylon wall in case there's a proxy gateway, or in case these zealots are coming out from these going to my base. The other Probious rush with the cannon rush, that's really good. I like it. The only problem is just Probious rushing and creating a diversion. Some opponents don't even let you get through the back because they just see all the probes as a threat. So this one's a little different. I make a pylon and I send the probe out to go to the opponent's base. And once the pylon's up, I'm going to quickly make a forge. Once I get the forge, I'm going to come over here, and my probe is almost at the opponent's base. I'm going to get a gas, and I'm getting 7 workers. As I'm doing the Probious rush, I'm going to come over here to the high ground and make a pylon at my opponent's base. Cancel the gas, continue my probe production. And this probe right here is a distraction. I'm making a gateway right here. So now all the attention is in this gateway zone. My Probious is coming in. And quickly I send him to go attack. This one right here, I create a little pause. That way there's no attention to that area, there's no movement. And once the pylons are being attacked, I quickly get to the back of these and make the pylon after canceling my gateway using the resources. Now I'm also killing the pylons because the pylons are gonna keep him either supply blocked or limited to the zealots. Probes are coming in, just holding off anything that's coming through. Normally these will be able to take care of the probes that are causing a threat. And now we have to create a little bit of strategy with this, utilizing the probes as decoys, time buffers. Distracting the mineral line with these probes, so you can be very creative with these probes as long as you can keep them alive for the cannon rushes. It also allows you to actually make more cannons without losing all the probes. I'm using them to distract. He's losing so much mining, and at home I'm making a decent amount of minerals. stalkers are trying to get through this, you're able to afford more cannons. And that's GG.
Florencio, you filthy sewer mermaid, Mr. Hanky, steaming piece of shit. I love you and hate you at the same time. Oh, you glorious game-breaking mother trucker.